Today we have a legendary investor right here in the studio who has actually done analysis for you on ITC. And we're going to learn from him and I'm so excited. Let's see what happens. आप आके बैठ सकते हैं please?
अभी नहीं.
ठीक है. I think he told me this before. He said, go through the entire thing. We will understand ITC analysis from his perspective and then we'll invite him and we can do a Q&A. You will be surprised of what we will find in this report towards the end. So watch the entire video and hit that like and subscribe button. Let's begin with the report. The report starts with about the stock. So let's skip this part because we all know what ITC is, or you can pause the video to read this. But let's move on to the latest results. Now, one thing you'll notice here that the report jumps to that we normally as normal investors don't see, but the legendary investor has, is that the growth in revenue is up only 2%. That sucks, right? But if you look closer, it's not a top line game. Look at the profit after tax, it's up 21%. This means इनके costs कम हुए थे. In the same revenue, they're able to keep a larger profit. That's very nice. The business is becoming more efficient. And if you look at these packaging lines that this report mentions, they've actually made a lot of the products premium. Like there's a premium version of Atta, which has a higher margin. Next, I'll move to key growth triggers. But before I go there, dude, I just saw the end. The surprise you will see will shock you. But let's do the growth triggers very, very quickly first. So here I can see three things. ITC is known for, well, you know, and only 40% used to be FMCG, but things have changed and that 40% is now 60%, which means they don't have to rely on just puck other things. It's actually doing well. The second thing I noticed in the report is that the hotel business is back. There's a 50% year-on-year revenue growth. Very nice. Finally, I can see over here that their other businesses are also growing. So it seems like all guns are firing. And finally, think about how ITC's Atta comes. They have this thing called e-Chopal, which connects with their farmers. The farmers have a relationship and वहाँ से supply आता है. To strengthen this supply, they have to be connected to all of their farmers. They're using digital ways now to talk and keep relationships with their farmers. This means their supply side will stay nice. Next, we look at the financials. I won't go through the details, but just see gross revenue is up only 2.9%, but the PAT is up 21%. I like how Sir is actually focusing on the business efficiency seen in the PAT, and also what are the growth factors which we just discussed. And then my favorite, the key ratios, the compounded growth rate for the last 10 years for sales is 9%. Profit growth is 10%. Stock price nahi dekhna chahiye because that's not in our hands. And return on equity is 25% for the last 10 years. Amazing. So this is fine. The next thing the report focuses on is the cash flow statement. Now here's the thing. A lot of businesses due to accounting standards can show a profit, लेकिन वो cash आया ही नहीं. In this case, all we need to do, the report says compare the net profit with the cash flow, and we can see the cash flow is actually higher than the net profit. So it's a cash-rich business. The second thing the report also talks about are the loans. कितना लोन है ITC के बारे में? Can you guess? 1,000 crores, 10,000 crores, 1 lakh crores? Well, it's actually almost a zero debt company. That is also a focus. Very interesting. We started with growth drivers, then moved to efficiency, looking at financials. Now we're looking at cash flow, कि वहाँ पे तो कुछ गड़बड़ नहीं है, and then loans. Super. Now let's zoom out a little bit. And I think this guy is now focusing on peer comparison. In the peer comparison, we can see that ITC has the highest price to earnings multiple. Also means the highest premium compared to everyone else. Now that's generally not a good thing. But I think the report is saying that the ROC is the highest over here, 33% for a company that size. The only company that comes close to that is probably VST Industries at 38, which is a very different business. So I understand why that premium is there. And the report says that this is fine. The report says something very interesting. The peer comparison is not fair. ITC is not a secret company. These are all secret companies. It's a conglomerate that has a diversified business. So he says, don't do the peer comparison for ITC. Sir, report thoda lamba ho raha hai, but I could see that you've done segment, you've done management, and you're saying, sir, the company is good, so is the management, but you want a little bit of price correction if someone has to consider the buy.
चलो बहुत हो गया ये. I'm sure you want to know who this legendary investor is. Let's bring him here.
That is Biswaroop.
By profession, I am a government employee in PSU, in telecom sector.
He attended our program in systematic investing, and this is what his investment goals are.
मेरा एकदम फिक्स टारगेट एक है, एक मेरा चाइल्ड एजुकेशन, ये एकदम प्रिलिमिनरी एंड बेसिक एंड फॉरमोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है मेरा चाइल्ड एजुकेशन, और थोड़ा बहुत रिटायरमेंट प्लान के लिए।
He, along with others, attended this 20-day program and made this report on his own. Look at that detail.
So, how was your experience in the programs?
Programs are excellent, more than excellent, I said, because the way the mentor are represented themselves and the way the proof of works are done by the participants and the programs are go through, these are amazing. It requires time, patience. It requires it helps in further. It helps in the sense in future also in future in terms of investment, in terms of everything. So this type of programs are very good experience. Go through this.
आप पहले कैसे एनालिसिस करते थे और अब कैसे एनालिसिस करते हो? टेक्निकली मुझे बता सकते हैं? टेक्निकली
पहले मैं तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आता। एनालिसिस करने के लिए वो जो टर्म रिलेट करना पड़ता है, टर्म को जानना पड़ता है। व्हाट इज वाईओवाई, व्हाट इज एबिटा, व्हाट इज प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स, तो ये सब तो मैंने कुछ जाना ही नहीं था, कुछ समझना ही नहीं था। तो जब मैंने वो सिद्धार्थ का क्लास लिया, तो उसके बाद हालांकि मैंने अभी तक उतना एनालिसिस नहीं किया हूँ, आईटीसी छोड़ के 2-4 और भी देखा हूँ, तो वो टर्म जब रिलेट कर पाता हूँ, क्लासेस जब लिया था तो वो टर्म को रिलेट किया, कुछ नोट्स लिया, तो वो सब देख के कुछ 100% नहीं, लेकिन मोर देन सेटिस्फैक्शन में उसको एनालिसिस कर पाता हूँ। Everybody who want to learn invest in stock market, if he like to invest or not to invest, but learning is the most powerful thing in life. So please subscribe LearnApp. Please go through their app, go through their content. It's really very high standard, very high class, and the way they taught us, they give us the comments, feedbacks. It's very, very good experience throughout the journey. So please subscribe. Please like LearnApp.
We have thousands of people like that in the doer community, and you can also show up in this video. I would love to feature you, and we would love to see your progression and growth. Put it in the comments if you think you're a doer as well, and hit that like, hit that subscribe, say something nice. See you in the doer community, and see you in the next video. You like cooking? अभी नमक डालने का तुम ओ अच्छा वो लर्निंग क्वांटिटी आप तो जानना चाहते होंगे